Hello students, welcome to this video. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about heat exchanger analysis, that is particularly the logarithmic mean temperature difference method in parallel flow and counter flow heat exchanger. Okay. So heat exchanger usually operate for long periods, longer periods of time without change in their operating conditions. So therefore, they can be modeled as steady flow devices, and by modeling or by assuming a steady flow devices for such flow conditions, the mass flow rate of each fluid will remains constant, and the fluid properties like temperature, velocity, etc. at inlet and exit is also going to remain constant or unchanged condition. The changes in kinetic energy and potential energy or specific heat and also conduction along the length of the tube are going to be neglected, and the outer surface of the outer tube of the heat exchanger is considered perfectly insulated. That means there is no heat loss. So there is no heat loss to the surrounding and surrounding medium, and heat transfer occurs between two fluids only. These are the assumptions or the assumptions which we have to consider for the heat exchanger process. Okay, so in particular, if the fluids are not undergoing the phase change, the first law of thermodynamics states that rate of heat transfer from hot fluid is equal to the rate of heat transfer to the cold fluid, that is energy balance that we are going to consider. So consider here a parallel flow heat exchanger where we are going to derive the equation for LMTD parallel flow heat exchanger using LMTD method. So as I mentioned in the previous video, in tubular heat exchanger, the temperature difference between the hot and cold fluids varies with the position in the heat exchanger. Therefore, it is convenient to determine a log mean temperature difference rather than average temperature difference. Okay, so that we have to consider. That's why we are going for LMTD method. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the assumptions what we are going to consider for this derivation. That is, overall heat transfer coefficient is constant, the flow conditions are steady, the specific heat and mass flow rate of both fluids are constant and unchanged, unchanged with respect to inlet and outlet. The heat exchanger is perfectly insulated, so there is no heat loss to the surrounding and heat exchanger, and we are going to consider heat exchange between two fluids only. So there is no phase change either of the fluid during the heat transfer. So as from energy balance, heat transfer occurs between two fluids only. So here let us consider a parallel flow double pipe heat exchanger, which is as shown in figure. The temperature difference delta T between hot and cold fluid is large at inlet of heat exchanger and outlet of inlet of heat exchangers, and it decreases exponentially towards the outlet. Okay, it decreases exponentially towards the outlet. So here you can able to see, and you can able to mark or you can note that in sketch. The temperature of hot fluid decreases, and that of cold fluid which will increases along the length of the heat exchanger. Thus the temperature of cold fluid can never exceed that of hot fluid in any case. Okay, so now for analysis purpose, we are going to consider an elemental area uh, which is of dA of the heat exchanger. So here it is considered. Now the rate of heat flow through this elemental area is given by dq. Dq is equal to u into a into th minus dq is equal to u into dA th minus tc, which is equal to u dA dt. Okay, u dA delta t. So as per first law of thermodynamics, it states that the rate of heat transfer from the hot fluid is equal to the rate of heat flow, heat transfer to the cold fluid. So therefore, the energy balance over a differential area dA may be written as dq is equal to minus mh cph dth, which is equal to mc cpc dtc, which is equal to u into dA into th minus tc, where m is the mass flow rate of hot fluid, cph is the specific heat of hot fluid, and dth is the temperature difference in the hot fluid. Mc is the mass flow rate of cold fluid, cpc is the specific heat of cold fluid, and dt is the temperature difference from of the inlet of cold fluid to outlet of the cold fluid. Okay, so the temperature difference of hot fluid is negative quantity, and it is so negative sign is added here, which is to make the heat transfer rate q as a positive quantity. Okay, because heat is transferred from hot fluid to cold fluid. So here dt is positive. Okay, so now we can rearrange this equation here. If you consider only this much relation, dth is equal to d minus dq mh cph, which is equal to minus dq is by ch is the capacity, hot fluid capacity. Okay, hot fluid capacity, heat capacity. And similarly we can we can consider dq as and is equal to mc cpc dtc. So that is equal to, by rearranging that equation, dtc is equal to dq by mc into cpc, which is equal to dq by cc, where cc is the cold fluid heat capacity. Okay, so ch is the heat capacity of hot fluid, and cc is the heat capacity of cold fluid. Okay, then we can rearrange this equation. Therefore th minus dtc is equal to d of th minus tc, which is equal to d theta, where theta is th minus tc. Okay, which is equal to minus dq. In dq is a common term, so 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. Okay, so again rearranging, therefore d theta is equal to, now we know what is dq. Dq is u into dA into th minus tc. Okay, so substituting that value dq here, minus u into dA th minus tc into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc, which is equal to now what is this th minus tc is nothing but theta. Okay, so which is equal to minus u into dA into theta into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc, that you can able to see here. This th minus tc is nothing but theta, and this dq is nothing but this u dA d theta. Okay, so that you can able to substitute, and you can get finally minus u into dA into theta into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. Now what we can do, this we can bring this theta over here, that will become d theta by theta is equal minus u into dA into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. That is the next step that you can able to see over here. Okay, d theta by theta, which is equal to minus u into dA 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. So now we want that is for elemental area dq we got. Now we can able to find the total heat transfer q by integrating that one in both sides. Okay, so we can integrate d theta by theta is equal to minus u into dA into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. That boundary condition is for inlet to outlet. Okay, so inlet, when it comes to temperature, and temperature, it is T1 1 and 2 boundary condition, whereas inlet is 1 termed as 1 and outlet is termed as 2, and whereas area is considered it is termed as A is equal to 0 to A is equal to A. So we can write integration of 1 to 2 d theta by theta is equal to minus u into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc into integration of A is equal to 0 to A is equal to A into dA. Okay, so applying that uh, and integrating, we will get, we know what is integration of dx 1 by x into dx. It is nothing but ln x. So similarly here d theta by theta, so integration is ln theta, and that is 1 to 2, which can be written as ln theta 2 minus ln theta 1. Now ln theta 2 minus ln theta 1 is nothing but ln of theta 2 by theta 1. Okay, so left and right hand side is over. Now left hand side minus integration of dA. Integration of x is nothing, dx is nothing but x, so the integration of dA is equal to A. So the boundary condition is A is equal to 0 to A is equal to A, so it will become A. So we will get the constant term minus u into A into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. Therefore the final relation what we are going to get here is ln theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus ua into 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. Okay, so now we know that q is also equal to the total heat transfer rate between two fluids. The heat transfer from hot fluid, whatever the amount of heat transfer from hot fluid, that is equal to the heat gained by the cold fluid, isn't it? So the heat transfer from hot fluid q is equal to mh into cph into th1 minus th2, isn't it? So where mh is the mass flow rate of hot fluid, cph is the specific heat of hot fluid, and th1 is the temperature inlet, and th2 is the temperature at outlet of the outlet, temperature of hot fluid at outlet. Okay, similarly that same q is equal to mc to cpc into tc2 minus tc1, where m is mass flow rate of cold fluid in kg per second, and cp is specific heat of cold fluid in joule per kg kelvin, and tc2 is outlet temperature of cold fluid, and tc1 is the inlet temperature of cold fluid. Okay, so this mhcph is nothing but heat capacity rate ch, and similarly mccph is nothing but heat capacity rate cc. So by this, by looking at here, this one q is equal to ch into th1 minus th2. Now we can find what is 1 by ch. The intention is to find the value of 1 by ch, so that we can substitute over here. Okay, so 1 by ch is equal to th1 minus th2 divided by q. Similarly 1 by cc is equal to tc2 minus tc1 divided by q, that we can substitute over here in equation 2. So substituting that in equation 2, we will get lane theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus UA into TH1 minus TH2 by Q plus TC2 minus TC1 by Q. So Q is common denominator, so we can take it outside and we can write, we can rearrange this equation in such a way that we know in parallel flow the equation T2 the entry is entry of the fluid at one end and exit of the fluid at the other end. So we will rearrange according to our condition that this term. So we can rearrange in such a way that TH2 minus TC2 minus TH1 minus TC1. So it is therefore lane theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to UA by Q into TH2 minus TC2 minus TH1 minus TC1. They call this as equation number 1. Sorry, equation number 3. Then this we can rearrange further. Now TH2 minus TC2 is nothing but theta 2 and TH1 minus TC1 is nothing but theta 1. That is mentioned in sketch, okay, or sometime they will mention it as dt1 and dt2, okay. So next we can write therefore Q is equal to UA into theta 2 minus theta 1 divided by lane theta 2 by theta 1. Now we can rearrange this equation as therefore Q is equal to UA into theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by lane theta 1 by theta 2. Okay. Now we know what is theta 1. Theta 1 is nothing but TH1 minus TC1 and theta 2 is nothing but TH2 minus TC2. Okay. So substituting that we will get therefore Q is equal to UA into TH1 minus TC1 minus TH2 minus TC2 divided by lane TH1 minus TC1 divided by TH2 minus TC2. This whole term, this term is called as LMTD. So we can write Q is equal to UA into LMTD. So therefore LMTD is equal to delta TLM is equal to theta 1 which is nothing but TH1 minus TC1 minus theta 2 which is equal to TH2 minus TC2 divided by lane theta 1 by theta 2, that is TH1 minus TC1 divided by TH2 minus TC2. This you can able to find in data book. This is the logarithmic mean temperature difference for parallel flow conditions. I hope you understood this. So we come to know that the delta TLM or LMTD is called log mean temperature difference, which is suitable form of temperature difference for a tubular or tubular heat exchanger when the both fluids are flowing in parallel direction, where theta 1 and theta 2 represents the temperature difference between hot and cold fluids at the two ends, inlet and outlet of a heat exchanger. So it makes no difference which end of heat exchanger is designed as inlet or outlet, but delta T1 or theta 1 and theta 2 are designed as temperature difference at left end to right end or right end to left end, whatever it is. Okay, so we can by using that equation we can calculate heat transfer rate in double pipe heat exchanger, which can be expressed as Q is equal to UA into delta TLM or UA into delta TLM LMTD. Maybe that U is stands for inlet overall heat transfer coefficient or outlet overall heat transfer coefficient. It depends on the conditions. Next we will try to derive or try to find the expression for LMTD for a counter flow heat exchanger. So as name itself says, the counter flow heat exchanger is nothing but both fluids enters at a different end. Okay, hot fluid enters at one end and cold fluid is entering at the other end, and it will flow in opposite direction. Okay, So the inlet and outlet condition is different for two fluids. Okay, the assumption is same as that of a parallel flow heat exchanger. The overall heat transfer coefficient is constant. The flow conditions are steady. The specific heat and mass flow rate of both fluids are constant. The heat exchanger is perfectly insulated. That means there is no heat loss to the surrounding. Heat exchange will take place purely between the hot fluid and cold fluid, and also there is no change of phase either of the fluid during the heat transfer. So these are the assumptions what we are going to make. But here, looking at figure, you can make out when the temperature profile for this counterflow heat exchanger, TH1 represents this, the value of TH1 represents the temperature of inlet temperature of hot fluid, and TH2 is the inlet temperature of outlet temperature of hot fluid, whereas TC1 is inlet temperature of cold fluid at other end, which is marked at other end at A is equal to A, and TC2 is the outlet temperature of cold fluid. Okay, so now hot fluid is giving its heat to cold fluid, and cold fluid is gaining its heat from inlet to outlet, but it is flowing in opposite direction. Okay, so theta 1 here, theta 1 represents th1 minus tc2, and theta 2 represents th2 minus tc1. It is quite different from parallel flow. Okay, now the basic steps, it is similar to parallel flow condition. What we have to do is we have to consider for elemental area dA. So we will consider elemental area dA for the initial analysis purpose, and then we will convert that into entire heat exchanger area for by integrating it. So the rate of flow of heat through this elemental area is given by dq is equal to u into dA th minus tc, which is equal to u into dA into delta t. Now we call this as equation number 1. Now we know, as per thermodynamics law, by energy balance over a differential area dA may be written as dq is equal to minus mh cph dth, and which is equal to minus mc cpc dtc, which is equal to u into dA into th minus tc. Here both mass flow rate mh and mc, because that is negative, because because both fluid both fluid both fluid is flowing in counter flow direction, so the temperature is going to decrease. Next, rearranging that equation, we will get dTh is equal to minus dq by mh into cph, which is equal to minus dq by ch. Okay, so where ch is the heat capacity of a hot fluid. Similarly, dTc is equal to minus dq by mccpc, which is equal to minus dq by cc. Equating that, we will get therefore dth minus dtc is equal to d of th minus tc is equal to d theta, which is equal to minus dq 1 by ch minus 1 by cc, 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. So by rearranging further, we will get this d of th minus tc is d theta, and this q is we will equate q is equal to u into dA into th minus tc. So we will equate that, and finally we will get minus u into dA into theta theta into 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. Now we will bring this theta to the other end, and we will integrate that. D theta by theta is equal to minus u into dA 1 by ch minus 1 by cc, that we will get. So integrating this both sides, we will get d theta by theta 1 to 2 is equal to minus u by minus u into 1 by ch minus 1 by cc, integration of dA, that is a equal to 0 to a is equal to a. So integrating that, lane theta of 1 to 2, which is equal to lane theta 2 minus lane theta 1, which is equal to lane theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus ua into 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. Now, as we did in parallel flow, the same. Now, the total heat transfer rate between two fluids, Q is equal to mHCpH TH1 minus TH2 delta T, which is equal to mCp delta T, mCCpC TC1 TC2 minus TC1. Okay, this is TC2 minus TC1. So integrating that, we will get 1 by CH and 1 by cc. Okay, so we will get like this, and we will rearrange that. We will equate that in equation lane theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus ua into th1 minus th2 divided by q plus tc2 minus tc1 by q, and we will take q as a common term, and we will get, therefore, lane theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus ua into q th1 minus tc2 minus th2 minus tc1, and now th1 minus tc2 is nothing but theta 1, and th2 minus tc1 is nothing but theta 2. So substituting that, we will get ua into LMTD, and where LMTD equation is th1 minus tc2 minus th2 minus tc1 divided by lane th1 minus tc2 by th2 minus tc1, and that equation we are going to get for LMTD, for counter flow heat exchanger.